No matter how much lead generation you do, if you keep doing these 4 things, then you're going to consistently fail at it. So today I'm going to talk with you and teach you the 4 things that you need to stop doing if you want to bring in more real estate leads from your Facebook business page or from any form of lead generation that you are doing. We're going to go over this. If you implement these 4 or take away these 4 things, you're going to drastically change your results from your real estate lead generation. Hey there, I'm Christina with Leads and Leverage, and I help real estate agents create more time, make more money, because hey, money's always good, and enjoy the entire process. Real estate does not have to be stressful all the time. There's going to be stressful moments. It does not have to be sacrificial. You don't have to sacrifice your family or your life. You can actually enjoy your business, create more time, make more money, and enjoy the journey. Again, I'm Christina with Leads and Leverage, and I'm really excited to have you here today. So do me a favor. I'm going to give away a free multiple frees. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a Facebook ad. So a lot of you are telling me, could you send me an ad already? I have a hard time creating an ad. So what you need to do is you need to comment below in the comments, send me the ad, then go over to Messenger and respond to Ribbit inside Messenger. I'm giving you the ad. It's a screenshot of the actual ad with all the verbiage in the picture and where to get the picture. It's free. And where to put all the pieces for your ad. So the ad and the directions are in that Messenger. So just click send me the ad and you will be good to go. All right, let's do this. Let's go over. I see a whole bunch of you. It's interesting. My system, I'm glad I'm using this 2 things. Right now, the system that I'm broadcasting live from is not showing me any of your comments. So I happen to have the screen up to see what you guys are doing. And hello, you guys. I am very sorry I haven't responded because I was like, wait, nobody's talking. Nobody's saying hi to me. I'm feeling lonely. So hi, Susan, Jerry, Kathy, Nancy, Millie, Catherine, everybody on there. Sorry, I'm trying to get everybody on there. All right, so we're going to talk about the 4 things. And this is so prevalent in our industry. I can't think it's probably prevalent in a lot of industries. It's just that I intimately know the real estate industry. I mean, gosh golly, I've been in it since 1995. And then my dad before me was in it since 1989, not too long before me. So I am a second generation realtor. I understand it. I've been through the changes. I'm still going through the changes. My brother-in-law and my sister still own the brokerage and a property management company. So we still have some peripheral contact with it. It's kind of interesting that with all of the change, nothing's changed. So here we go. So no matter how much lead generation you do, if you keep doing these 4 things, you're going to keep failing and you don't want to fail. So the first thing, gosh, guys, this is huge. When you're doing your lead generating and expecting immediate business, and I'm putting quotes around it. You're expecting immediate business. Basically, you're expecting to run an ad and get an appointment. Run an ad, get an appointment. That's what you're doing. You're like, well, yeah, I want a transaction. But here's the thing. This is actually the worst way to lead generate. The worst way to lead generate. Number 1, if you do it like this, there's several things. If you do it like this, you kind of sound desperate, which it's like, it's okay to be urgent and aggressive and assertive to get the business. But when you're trying to go from an ad on a social media site or on an app or on something where somebody's trying to kind of chill out and relax, and you're trying to get them to suddenly be in yep, I want to buy or sell mode, doesn't work that way. Your website, same thing. At a home show, at a chamber event, it doesn't matter where you are. If you don't actually do the journey with the person, you sound desperate. You alienate future prospects. If all you can do is focus on lead generating immediate business, I'm going to talk about how to actually switch this up so that you get all of it. You get immediate, you get future, you get immediate and future. That's the only two things that there are. So you sound desperate, you alienate future prospects, you perpetuate the used car salesman reputation. Yes, yes, yes. And you don't want to do that. We already struggle with the whole idea of the public thinking that they think we were overpaid and we don't, like, they have no idea what we do. They really don't. They have no idea. Nobody. So it's not just them. It's like everybody who owns a business understands all of the time and money that's involved in the business. People who have never owned a business before, they don't get it. They don't understand. So people who have never been a real estate agent before and don't understand all the time, all the training, all the money, all the stuff going into it, that no, you're not getting rich unless you're doing 1 billion transactions. You're not getting rich off of 1 or 2 commissions. It's not happening. But they don't understand because they don't understand what we're doing. But if we keep trying to look desperate and focus just on the immediate person, we look like that used car salesman, and we're always stressed because, like, if that lead doesn't respond right away, we're like, oh, I couldn't get the lead to respond. Instead of like going out and constantly lead generating and knowing that through it all, there's going to be people in all various levels of readiness, and that we should always be focusing on just getting them into our sphere and then nurturing them through the process. It is literally, we're going to bring them in and nurture them. That's what we're going to do. So if you keep lead generating and expecting immediate business, you're going to live in a perpetual state of feast and famine and stress. It's just, you've got to stop doing that, and you've got to focus on the long run. So number two with your lead generation, if you do not have a long-term follow-up system, and I mean months to years, not 2 or 3 weeks, I'm talking months to years. If you do not have a long-term follow-up system in place, or at least you're building it, then here's the thing. All your lead generation is wasted. The time you're putting into it, wasted. The money you're putting into it, wasted. Like wasted, because you're still in the, I'm looking for immediate business. That's what I need. Boom. And you're literally throwing away the 100 leads that you get when you do a Facebook ad, and say you get 100 leads in there, 100 people who opt in. That was a lot of time and money and energy. And why the heck you don't have something going to follow up with them over 3, 4, 10 years is beyond me, because you put money and time into it and people are not ready right then. They're not. This is a very big decision. It's a big sell. It's a big purchase. Things happen. It's big. And you need to be working their journey with them, walking their journey with them, working and walking. So it's not about the whole process. It's not about that 6-month buy or sell time frame that they experience 2 to 3 times in their entire life. For most people, unlike me, this is like the 7th house we've purchased, not including all the other places that we've lived. And I'm 47. So being in real estate, I kind of move a lot. So I'm not the norm. And I'm positive. We've only been here a year. I'm almost positive we might move in 3 to 5 years. I have no idea. We just do this. So, but the point is that most people only do it 2 or 3 times in their entire lives. So if you don't have a long-term process in place, all you're doing is, do you want to buy or sell now? How are you going to stay in contact with them over the long haul? Like, seriously, how are you going to get them to see that this person is valuable even when I'm not buying and selling? How are you going to get you being valuable to them? How are you going to get them to believe that you feel that they're valuable even when they're not buying or selling? It runs both ways. You need to have a follow-up system in place that goes their entire journey. This is absolutely key. And like I said, if you are lead generating and don't have this in place, or you're not building it, if you haven't been in business long enough, you may not have built it yet. But if you're not even trying to build it as you go along, you are totally wasting your time and money. And you are making your business a stress. Oh my gosh, you're going to be feast and famine. It's going to be a nightmare, because everything you're doing right now is 100 days. Right now, 100 days. So if you did not generate a lead who is ready, willing, and able to buy or sell right now, you're not eating in 100 days. You're not going to close a deal. So if you don't do that, if you don't generate people who are ready, willing, and able right now for 4 months in a row, guess what? In 100 days, those 4 months, you're not going to eat. You have to be doing long-term. Number 3. So number 1 is you cannot lead generate focused only on immediate business. You cannot do that. Number two, you cannot lead generate if you have no follow-up system or have no intentional, you're not intending on doing a follow-up system that is actually really going to work over the course of a decade or 2 decades. Seriously, you can't just throw something out in the mail once a year or twice a year and think that's follow-up. You're like lying to yourself, and you're just like wasting money and lying to yourself. You need a system, and you can set it up. It's much easier than you think. It's hard for the first year, but after the first year, most of what you've done can be repeated. Yeah, it can be repeated again. All right. Number 3, if you are lead generating and whatever you're doing, and you're constantly on the react side versus the proact side, let me give you an example. If you're on the react side, it's like, oh, I put that ad up and I put it up yesterday and I haven't gotten anybody to respond yet. And I spent $10 a day. Oh my gosh, I need to stop that ad and change it. Or I sent out a direct mail. I sent out this one direct mail. I spent $500. I didn't get a result. So I'm just going to stop that because it doesn't work. Guys, the problem is not the method that you're using. The problem is you. The problem is that you did not take any time to understand a strategy. You saw what someone else was doing and thought, crap, I got to do that. And you just did it without learning about it, understanding it, or even knowing if it was working for them, what they were doing. This happens all the time. I see people in our membership do it all the time. The path that I give you guys, Inside Leads and Leverage, is all about the long game. It is about building a sustainable, growing business through every up, down, sideways market you could even imagine. It is about the long haul. But here's what happens. Members get in there and they panic because, oh my gosh, my ad did not get an opt-in in the first 24 hours, or the first 48 hours, or they panic because maybe the ad only got 5 opt-ins, but they're not actually doing the follow-up, which is what I'm teaching. So you guys, you have to do that. You cannot always react. Ever. You need to be proactive. You need to understand the strategy of what you're using. If you're going to use direct mail, understand the strategy. Understand that, gosh, I need to hit them once a week, every week for 8 weeks. And then I need to hit them every 2 weeks like clockwork, never, ever missing a 2-week period. And it needs to be stuff that they will find valuable, not all related to sales or open houses or stuff that they wouldn't be interested in if they just bought a new house. So, or they've had it, they have no intention of moving for 5 or 7 years. You need to go on their lifestyle journey with them. So you need to stop reacting, because here's the thing. Here's a perfect example. When you're implementing any type of lead generation strategy, online, offline, it does not matter. Any type of lead generation strategy, and you go the long haul, of the 100% of work that you put into it, the first 80%, the first 90, 95%, you're not going to see results. And if you know how long it takes, if somebody tells you it takes 12 to 18 months to get direct mail to actually like people start really responding and people to start listing, etc., then guess what? You need to commit to 18 months and you need to not stop doing it. I don't care if at month 8, you're like, this isn't working, I'm stopping. Guys, it's the same thing with losing weight. You get tired of it, you get bored with it, you see another thing, you're not willing to put in the foundational basics. We all do this. I do it. We all do this. You have to push through. There's a great analogy. I know you've heard it. I know that I have talked about it before, but you need to hear it again. The question arises, would you rather have $3 million right now, today, or I will give you a penny. I will give you a penny on the first day and double it every single day for an entire 31-day period. Which one would you rather have, the $3 million today or that penny doubled at the end of 31 days? Well, here's the thing, guys. That $3 million today, the person who gets it and does it is going to feel like they're ahead all the way up until the 29th day. It is not until the 29th day that somebody gets $3 million. 2 point something, it's not even 3 million. On the 30th day, it's 5 million something. On the 31st day, it's 10 million something. What's the point of all of this? It means that even when you think you're not getting there, you're getting there if you're implementing the strategy, if you're doing it right. If you're reacting, if you're expecting immediate business all the time and that's all you're getting, if you're frustrated that, well, I'm getting some fake people in there. So people are still looking, they're still doing it. Do you know how many fake people that I sold homes to? Yeah, fake, because they entered their information fake beginning, but then as I was giving value, guess what? They turned around because, oh, this isn't somebody who's just going to call me and annoy me. This is somebody who's actually giving me value. That's the thing. You need to be focused on the long game, not just on immediate business, because when we focus on immediate business, we forsake everyone else who might be interested months down the road. And we just assume that they'll call us. No, they won't call us. If you're not in contact with them, they're not going to call you. You have to be in contact with them. 2, we think that we don't need a long-term follow-up, or we think that random. I know of all of you guys listening, I would be willing to bet there's maybe one of you who actually has a legitimate long-term follow-up that includes email and snail mail and a phone call and an appreciation. Maybe one of you, period. I have been behind the scenes of so many mega teams that have crap for follow-up. Like they have some immediate stuff. For some of it, they have like all these people that they're getting in and they're not following up with, and they have no long-term follow-up. They buy the canned crap and can't figure out why it doesn't work. They do all this stuff, but they have no long-term follow-up. Do you know when they're generating 1,000 leads a month? Do you know that if they would just have this really great long-term follow-up that gave value through the process of that, they would never have to spend $40,000 a month on Realtor.com and Trulia and Zillow to generate more leads, because they have so many leads that they could just keep going to infinity at the same level that they're at, but their follow-up sucks. And I'm not talking about the follow it up in 3 seconds or less, which is the name of the game for number 4. If you are chasing the same cherry pickings as every other agent, which means the immediate business stuff, if you're only chasing immediate business, that's what everybody's chasing. If you're only chasing immediate business, then you are going to be one of the 87% who fail in the real estate business in 5 years or less. Yes, that's a real stat right from NAR. And this is exactly why all these agents chasing the exact same, very few people who are ready right now, these exact same agents, this is why all of the gurus stress that the fastest to the lead wins. Because they know everybody's chasing the same stupid leads. They're chasing the same ones, and they know everybody's desperate. And what a friggin' stressful way to run a business. Holy cow. I wouldn't want to work that way. How do you think it is possible to, like everything you do, if you're trying to beat that lead, you're going to have to be up at 2 a.m. texting that lead or have somebody else do it for you. You have to be on it all the time. That is stressful. If you think that trying to develop a know, like, and trust relationship in 10 seconds is actually possible, wow. That you are just, that's just stressful. You know, they're using memorized script objections, which means that they're not actually listening to the lead. The lead is a real person. They're not actually listening to them. All you're doing is listening for keywords so that you can pop out a script. Yes, you need to know your market. Absolutely. Yes, you absolutely need to be able to answer their real objections, which means not popping out a script and digging deeper to find out what the real problem is, the real objection is. So they know we don't care because we act like we don't care. So if you want to be successful at any type of real estate lead generation, you must, I'm going to give you the opposites now. You must, number 1, you must lead generate for the long game. If you lead generate for the long game, yeah, you're going to get some immediate business, but you need to know that every single lead that comes into you is valuable. It might be valuable now, very rarely, but most likely it's valuable 9 months from now, 18 months from now, 54 months from now. It's valuable. It is a person on a journey. You must focus and realize that every single lead that comes in is valuable. even if they can't give you a commission check right now. They're valuable. Number two, you must have a long-term follow-up process. And if you do not have one, you need to create it as you're going along. You need to dedicate time in your business every single month to make sure that you have a mailing going out and you have an email going out and you have some sort of client appreciation. Something can be small every quarter, and you need to somehow be in contact with people in real life. You have to. This is absolutely, if all you're doing is trying to generate a lead to get a closing, you're going to fail. You absolutely are going to fail if you do not have these things in place. Number three, if you're constantly reacting, if you need to have a proact, you need to know if you're going to start some lead generation or some form of something, you need to know the strategy and you need to know how long it's going to take. And in some cases, it's a couple of years for long-term stuff. Excuse me. So you need to be dedicated to it, and you need to mentally mindset yourself, get yourself into gear going, you know what? This is a long-term game. This is a long-term build. I'm building a business. I am not just trying to get a quick meal. I actually want a business. That's the mindset shift difference. We come into it thinking, I just want some money right now. Do you want some money right now? Or do you want a business that feeds you over the long term? You have to be proactive, not reactive. And number four, you have to stop chasing the same cherry pickings that every other agent is. You don't need script objections. You need to know your market. You don't need, like I said, you don't need scripts. You need to be able to dig in and understand the person. You need to show that you care. You need to build real know, like, and trust relationships, not this fake crap in 30 seconds. You need a real one. You need them to hear you when you say, do not look at or listen to Zillow. You need them to hear you when you say, your home is over. You want too much for it. Here's why. And you need them to go, yeah, you're right. You've said this before. I've heard this before from you. I trust you, etc. That's what you need from them. And if you want that, you need to have that long-term connection with them. You have to, period. So these are the four main things not to do. And I flipped it around and told you exactly how to do it. You guys, here's what I need to know. And I forgot to ask this yesterday, but this is really important to me because it gives me some feedback on what you guys need from me, how I can help you through this journey. So through this today, what was most useful for you today? As I was talking about those four things, what was most useful for you? What do you think helped trip to trigger in your mind? What do you think helped change a thought process for you? Let me know in the comments below. I really want to know this because, again, I am going live every weekday throughout the month of August, answering your questions, trying to help you guys move forward. We're coming into, for most of the country, especially most of North America, we're coming into the slow season. We're coming into it. So if we're not as busy as you wanted to be this summer, or you were busy, guys, and maybe you're still busy right now, you will slow down. It's going to slow down flat out because people tend, especially people with kids, tend not to move after school has started unless something drastic requires them to move. So what are you going to do? You can't just keep shifting who you're focusing on. You need to understand your strategies behind everything. You need to understand that this is a long game, and you need to have the fortitude and the mental capacity to push yourself through when you take dips, when it gets frustrating, when you're not seeing results, instead of keep pulling your money from everything you're doing and trying a new thing. I watched you guys. Oh my gosh. Leads and Leverage has been around for almost exactly 5 years now. September, it'll be 5 years. Do you know how many of you guys I have watched from that point to this point, coming and going? I'm going to try Leads and Leverage, and a couple months, and then you go to another one and you try it, go to another one, then you come back to Leads and Leverage. Guys, in all that bouncing around, we've had several agents who started with us and moved through and did everything, who now have big businesses who had nothing at the beginning. And why? It's not because they're special. It's not because they have something over you, except that they stuck to it. They put blinders on and stopped looking at all the shiny objects. They stopped reacting and focused on being proactive. That is huge. That is where your power is. That is why you build leads and leverage. I started leads and leverage 5 years ago. Do you know how many people have come and gone trying to sell crap to you guys as vendors? Do you know how many? Like tons. I've seen tons, and some have grown and some have not. But they come and go because they're not focused on the long game. They're focused on an immediate sale. They don't understand how to push through. When you guys are bouncing around, they get frustrated. Do you know how many repeat members we have because we didn't get frustrated with people who left? We knew what they were doing. I see what they're doing. I know what they're doing, but they're not ready to hear it from me that, look, you should not be bouncing around like this. They weren't ready to hear that from me. Fine. They needed to go experience it themselves. And now they're back. That happens all the time, every day, and everything we do. Are you going to keep being reactive, or are you going to be proactive? Are you going to build out your business over the long haul? No matter what the Facebook algorithm does, no matter what the market's like. Those are the keys. This is the key. And this kind of turned into a rant because it's frustrating and it's disheartening to see agents do this. And I'm like, oh, if you just stuck to what you were doing 2 years ago, you'd be where you want to be right now. I know it. I built it myself. I've helped agents in our membership build it them. Guys, that's it's consistency and pushing through the slog. It really is. Okay, so awesome, you guys. So Tony said what was most important to him was long-term follow-up. It's key. It is the absolute key. Susan, stop feeling the pressure to react. Yes. And that's like the shiny object syndrome. It's kind of all in that. Oh, Tom, I'll figure out what's going on as soon as I get back over there to Ribbit and find out what's going on. Susan says, I see marketing as a long-term theme and to not be pressured to do what other agents are doing, which is to chase the same leads everyone else is chasing now. Yes. Yes. Because here's the key to this. And I want you guys to know this. If you're just chasing the same leads everybody's chasing now, and you're still getting leads in and you're not taking care of them, when they're ready, those will be the same leads that everybody's chasing. However, if you preempt all your colleagues and all your competition, and you start taking care of those future leads now, there won't be any chasing because you'll have them and they won't be looking. There'll be less for other people. Yeah, you're going to get them all. That's how it works. Yes, if you're only chasing the immediate business, you will fail. Absolutely. Deborah K wants to know what is a good follow-up system. That is a great question for tomorrow's Ribbit. Do you want me to do that? Well, no, not tomorrow. I have tomorrow's already ready, but I will do another day. Let me write that one down on a piece of paper. What is a good follow-up system? I will do that. Good follow-up system. There are key elements that you want in it. I'll have that for you. Just send me the ad. Anyone else asking any other questions? All right, you guys. So this is today's episode. And again, please let me know what was most useful for you. This is a key. A lot of you talked about long-term follow-up. And then the fact that Deborah K asked, what is a good follow-up system? Like, guess what? I'm going to do another show for you guys on that because that's key. That's key. So what is a good follow-up system? So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. You got questions, comment them below. And then of course, if you want to be notified every day that I go live and what the topic is, so you can choose to join me live or not, then of course do send me the ad and respond to Ribbit. And I'm going to go over there and see why he's misbehaving right now. Apparently he's misbehaving, but, I will go over there and check and make sure he's working. And then I will be notifying you. I'm not going to be sending out emails for the live streams anymore. It's just way too many emails for you guys to get. But if you do want to know when all these are, the Ribbit shows are, then just go ahead and make sure you're on Ribbit's list. And that's the messenger list. Again, comment, send me the ad below, sending over an ad with the little picture of the ad and the directions for you guys to run it. The ad works. The ad works, you guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are amazing. I love your energy. I love your questions. I love being able to help you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.